Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So nice to see many of you from different countries and different time zones. Before we start, we would thank Universe for giving us this great opportunity with Gayatri Mantra chanted by Professor Regina from Brazil.
Om Bhuvat Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyan Bargo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Yona Prachodaya. Many blessings to the universe. Thank you, Ambika, for enlightening our webinar with your great presence and wisdom. Back at you, Dr. Kavita. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Regina. Welcome to KHA Homeopathy Study Group Pro Bono webinar hosted by Kavita Holistic Approach. Everyone, happy Mother's Day. And Ambika Wauters is here with us today. Thank you so much, Ambika. Today, May 9th, 2021, and webinar topic is Healing and Health with Homeopathic Color and Sound Remedies and Other Imponderables with Ambika Wauters Life Energy Medicine. Ambika Wauters received a diploma in homeopathy medicine UK from the School of Homeopathic Medicine, North Yorkshire in 1995. She qualified for RS Home UK in 1996 and returned to the US in 1998 when she began the Institute of Life Energy Medicine, offering classes on homeopathy and the chakras. She qualified for CCH and RS Home in North America in 2006. Ambika teaches classes on the color, sound, and imponderable remedies. Offers a 2-year certificate class in life energy medicine. She is the author of 28 books on healing and the human energy system. Her website is lifeenergymedicine.com. And I knew Ambika since 2008. And she sent me color and sound remedies as gifts, which I use in my practice, both of them. And her precious book, Life Energy Bible, is a wonderful book. Her 20 years of hard work and mostly pink and green remedies, which I use in my practice. They are very helpful. And today we'll hear more from Ambika. And before we honor our honorable guest, we would say this webinar is moderated by Dr. Sweta Singh, Chief Administrator, and Professor Regina Rianelli. And I thank entire KHA Homeopathy Study Group team for the continuous support. And this is Kavita Kukunur, Board Certified Homeopath from Michigan, USA, Residency of Kavita Holistic Approach and founder and director of KHA Homeopathy Study Group team. And this webinar is for educational purpose only, and it is being recorded as we speak. And we are not live on Facebook today due to technical difficulties. And thank you so much for understanding. And we will open further questions at the end of the webinar. And we will post jot form in the Zoom chat at the end of the webinar. To please fill the form to receive the certificate. And if you have any questions, please email us at kstudygroup@gmail.com. Thank you. And Ambika, welcome to our webinar.
Good. I get that panicky feeling whenever technology gets in front of me. Yay. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, Ambika, please welcome. And I'm going to share the screen. All will be well. So, yes. And I am going to share the screen. Ambika, please start, Ambika.
Could you put up the picture of the human energy system, the chakras of the human energy system, please? Yes, lovely. Hello, and welcome to this webinar on life energy medicine, the chakras of the human energy system, the color and sound remedies that have been used since 1991 when they were created in the UK, and the realm of imponderables, which I'd like to discuss today as well. So these are symbols of the human energy system. They are not exactly perfect replicas of the ancient Hindu symbols, but they are symbols that I've created for understanding how powerful and how beautiful the human energy system is represented by color, by sound, by mythology, by remedies, definitely by remedy categories with our wonderful homeopathy. And I've taken it also into the realm of the holy waters of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the archangels themselves, and combinations of remedy forces that I call the chakra remedies. So we're going to start with the root chakra. It's a very good place to start. And I would encourage you, if you have questions or comments, please put them into the chat and I'll address them at every chakra. So the root chakra, our ground of being, absolutely where our spirit is anchored in our body, at the very base of our spine, in the perineum. It represents primarily trust in life. Trust in life is the bottom line, quite literally on your bottom, for the root chakra. Trust in life is everything. And from that place, we grow, we develop, we find our talents and our gifts. We are led to our destiny through what is in our root chakra. The Chinese say this is where ancestral qi is located, in the adrenal cortex of the kidneys, which are the organs of the ductless glands, the ductless glands of the root chakra. The Native Americans say, Mitakuye Yasin, we stand on the backs of those who came before us. And that energy, that courage to live life, or the despondency and the despair to reject life, are located in this chakra. So when we have a case in homeopathy of despair, despondency, we look to remedies like aurum metallicum, the remedies of grief, separation, pain, trauma. If we can fortify ourselves and anchor our spirit in the root chakra, we have a very substantial possibility of bringing healing. This chakra is the last chakra to heal in the human energy system. It's believed that healing starts first in the crown chakra and descends, like the human spirit descends from the heavenly realm into the root. So I think we have a lot of work to do with this chakra to stabilize it. These are the qualities that I ascribe to the root chakra: trust in life, patience, the infinite patience to allow the good to unfold. When you see people in practice who are incredibly restless, they're agitated, they're restless, they're irritable, those are root chakra issues. I'll tell you an exciting case that I had many, many years ago that taught me a lot about this. Thank you, Kavitha. I was working in the UK and I used to do workshops on the chakras. One day, a young, blonde, blue-eyed fellow came in looking as British as they come. And I was talking about the root chakra and that when people are imbalanced in this chakra, they get very irritable, they get very impatient, and they change things very quickly. They're always about the change. And all of a sudden he stopped, his eyes got really big, and he said, "You're talking about my father." And I said, "Could you tell me more?" And he said, "My father was a prisoner of war in World War II. He came from the Eastern Bloc countries, I can't remember where, and he wasn't allowed to go home. So he was on a farm. This boy's grandfather owned a farm in Yorkshire, which has very beautiful, very rich farmland in the UK. So he worked on the farm and he fell in love with the farmer's daughter, wound up getting married and had several children. But he could not sit still. He changed jobs regularly. He was restless, he was irritable, and all of his children got exactly the same qualities. So one of the things we know about the root chakra is that it's ruled by the planet Saturn. And Saturn has a time cycle of 2.5 years it takes to circle the sun. So 2.5 of anything, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 months, 2.5 years. These are the cycles of Saturn. So I said, well, how often did your dad change jobs? And he said, about every 2.5 years. Well, it was, you know, a revelation for me. But he told me a story that was interesting. And he said he was in his early 20s, I'd say maybe 24, 25. He said he changed a job every 2.5 years. He changed girlfriends every 2.5 years. He changed where he lived every 2.5 years. And I got this sense of this very dysfunctional root chakra. Anyway, we worked together for about 2.5 years and he got stabilized. He got stabilized in a job he really liked. He met a girl he eventually married. He settled down and he tried to help his brothers and sisters with this concept. It helped his father. When the children started to stabilize, the father also stabilized. And you see this level of irritability when the root chakra is imbalanced. Now, the color that I use, of course, is red. Red is the color of the root chakra, but you have to be very careful, particularly with these hot colors, because it can create a level of emotional irritation and inflammation if you're not careful. So when people are 50 and older, that's sort of my rule. I add magenta, which is the color of what we call the ultimate major chakra. It's the color of ultimate creativity. It combines red, green, and violet light. And that helps, it helps people get insight rather than just blasting them with red. But when people have had loss, trauma, separation, I will often give them a low dose of 6X, 6X for the root chakra to help them stabilize. It's remarkable, really remarkable. And the node, of course, is middle C. Now I'm using Archangel essences. I'm using the holy waters of the Blessed Virgin Mary as well to help people anchor themselves. This is a time of tremendous change, good, bad, and indifferent. It's a time of, they call it a portal, an incredible portal of transformation. And people can become unstable, with one crazy thought about politics or government or vaccines or the terrible, terrible fear that many people have about COVID. And red just anchors people in their true essence, and I love it for that. But I'm very cautious about using red or differentiating when I need to use magenta. Magenta carries the stability of red, the peace of the heart chakra green, and violet, the crown chakra. So trust in life. Wait, let's go back. I just want to finish it. Go back to the root, please. Yeah, thank you. Trust in life, patience to allow the good to come around, stability through change. It allows people to have perseverance and to sustain change without getting unstable or destabilized. Security and safety, a huge, huge concept that helps people anchor themselves in their lives, in their homes without being afraid. Healthy structures that support your life, like homeopathy, of course, good books, a community of friends and family. Order in the economy, that great phrase of James Tyler Kent, I love that phrase. Order in the economy. Is that not what we do as healers? And the right to one's life. You find people who are literally enslaved to concepts from institutions, from church, from family, and they don't believe they have a right to their own life. All the chakras I've given rights to, and this one is the right to your own life, to be able to make your own choices, to not be overwhelmed with duty or obligation, and to know you have a right to change your mind. You have a right to live the life you choose for yourself. So these are the concepts that I work with. Note middle C, red, Archangel Michael essence, holy water, and the gem elixirs. Okay, on to the sacral chakra. This one is the most challenging chakra to heal. This is the most dysfunctional chakra in the human energy system. It's kind of been kidnapped by popular concepts of martyrdom, suffering, enslavement, to help people understand they have a right to pleasure, they have a right to ease, and most of all, a right to happiness, is truly the foundation of this chakra. It rules health, beauty, and resiliency. It rules unconditional love and forgiveness and gratitude. It rules pleasure, ease, and delight. It rules abundance, thriving and prospering in life. And you can see all these concepts of sexuality, abundance, our emotional capacity for gratitude and forgiveness, just the simple delight in the good things in life. We want to build this. I once read that there is a new condition in allopathic terms called pleasure deficit disorder, that people struggle to have pleasure in their life. Simple pleasures. Pleasure is not a sophisticated concept. It is very simple. I just had a little hummingbird come to the window while I was talking. You know, that's a little boost of pleasure for me. And looking out on my garden as I practice or I teach, these things are, I wouldn't want to be without the simple pleasures. So encouraging people to find joy in life is something that I do with my clients. People get very obsessed about their illnesses and conditions and very attached, as we know as homeopaths. So I ask my clients to find pleasure in anything every day. Just learn to cultivate pleasure. And the color orange is, it is the color of pleasure and delight. Think of the variations of orange, from pale peach, which is the color of sensuality, to burnt umber, which is an intense orange. When you combine this remedy with another color, with pink, it's a fiesta waiting to happen. Pink and orange, you don't ever do it and go shopping. I once learned that the hard way. It's like, wow, I went shopping once in England and bought things I not only didn't need, but I was like, why did I do that? So be careful with that. But when people are joyless, or they're in grief, or they're suffering in some complex, diminishing way, orange will bring back their physical vitality. It's a great color for vitality. And I've used it for ME, I've used it for MS, I've used it in cases of post-surgery, just depletion, you know, vital force depletion comes back with orange. Again, contraindication is do not give these warm colors at night. Do not be indiscriminate in giving any of these color remedies. The hot remedies, they do best like sulfur early in the morning. Get you going. I say to people, if you wind up taking this at night, you're not going to be able to sleep. It's like 3 cups of green tea, or dare I mention that word, coffee. It's a booster. It's a stimulator. So the qualities, the right to pleasure and ease is the foundation of the sacral chakra. Health, beauty, and resiliency. Use orange to expand a person's capacity for well-being, self-love, vitality. For those who suffer from a lack of self-love, poor health, and low vitality, it's a gift. You can start with a 6X, but usually one single dose of a 30C can last for days, weeks. Unconditional love, forgiveness, and gratitude. And when you find people bitter and hanging on to their anger, hanging on to their wanting revenge, hanging on to their enmity, this is a color that helps untie that knot. When you find that people are pleasure deficient and you encourage them to cultivate pleasure, they start to look outside of themselves, out into the world around them. Excuse me. It helps people enhance their capacity for joy and beauty. Abundance and thriving. This will help people address lack. So, excuse me, I'm going to go into the chat and see if there are any questions. So far, I don't see any about these 2 chakras. Okay. Orange, the sacral chakra. Excuse me. Let's move on to the solar plexus. Orange, the note D, the holy water remedies, the archangel is the archangel Metatron. That's the sacral chakra. The solar plexus, yellow or gold, the note E, the archangel Uriel essence, holy water and gem elixirs. It's a powerful force because the core of this chakra is self-worth. Knowing one is worthy of everything they say they want because they exist, not because they've done anything. There's nothing to prove. We are worthy because we exist, because we are human. And that's a very, very challenging concept for many people. To be able to build confidence in self-worth, we need that as homeopaths. We know that. We come up against the challenge of people's will, their determination to hang on to their illnesses, confidence in our medicine, confidence in who we are, confidence in our choice to be homeopaths. I think that's very, very important. I see it when I teach. In the beginning, everybody wants to learn the right remedy, but ultimately, it's about having the confidence to give the right remedy. And I see that many of my students in the beginning, they need to build their solar plexus. I certainly did when I was a student. I remember sitting around at graduation. We had a big bonfire up in the north of Yorkshire in England, and we were sitting around and somebody said, I just didn't think I would ever finish this training. And everybody said, me too, me too, me too. And then we heard our teacher say, us also. It takes confidence to go against the trend of allopathy, to go against the popular concepts, and to be able to educate ourselves and to educate our clients. We need confidence. We need self-worth. We need to know that we have put ourselves in the service of humanity with our work. That's all of us. So self-worth, self-esteem, confidence in life, and the ability to manifest what one needs and wants in life. I'm a great believer in calling to you what you want, because you are worthy of what you say you want, that there is nothing too good for you. There is nothing too wonderful to happen and nothing too good to lose. We are worthy. And knowing that, it will change your life. Ultimately, the last quality of the solar plexus is freedom of choice. And that choice is one thing only, and that's the ability to love. Thank you. Let's move on to the heart chakra, Kavitha. The core of the human energy system is the heart chakra. The core of our lives is love. The ability to open one's heart to the flow of love is the foundation of this chakra. The colors are pink and green, because green is the heart protector, the myocardium, and pink is the actual heart itself. The myocardium holds the qualities of brotherhood and sisterhood, peace, love, joy. And the heart itself is about our purity and innocence. So many of our clients think they're bad at some level, and helping to dispel that gnawing thorn in the heart, it needs to be removed. And I use green and pink. I'll tell you a great case I had with pink. I had a woman come to me many years ago when I lived up near the Canadian border, where it was cold and wet and rainy and kind of miserable weather. She had suffered great loss. She had lost a 16-year-old son to drowning. Her husband had Alzheimer's, and her two remaining daughters moved to Europe. And there she was alone with this very sick man. She had a big property, several acres, and that she had to manage herself. And she came with serious lung problems. I treated her with conventional remedies, tuberculinum and stannum, and some of the really wonderful lung remedies to get her lungs back in shape. But I also gave her pink. And she came back, I don't know, 4 weeks later, and she said, I love that pink. She said, I took a little room in my cottage and I painted it pink. And then I got a rocking chair and I painted it pink. And then I crocheted a shawl and I wrapped myself in this pink blanket. And she said, I would rock in my pink rocking chair in my pink room and I would give thanks. What was really interesting was that within a few months, her daughters decided it was time to come back and help their mother deal with their father. So she had the joy of her two remaining children back with her, and she healed beautifully, and she loved pink. And when people are suffering, I think it's a wonderful color. I use it when the hard edges of the day, get me, and I just take a pink and I settle down into my heart and settle down into peace, joy, and love. It's a lovely, lovely color. And during the provings of pink, it's the only color we had this, back to the heart chakra, thank you. We had people have similar dreams. We had 3 provers all have dreams that they were in bed with their mothers and their mothers were massaging them or combing their hair. This is about mother love, and this is a perfect day to remember mother love. So pink and green, the note G, the Archangel Raphael, who brings us the healing grace of the Lord, holy water, and gem elixirs. I'm going to just see, I see there's one question in the chat. Let me get my glasses. I have a question. This is from Carla McBee Urrutia. Excuse me if I mispronounce your name, Carla. I have a question about orange. In designing your home and choosing colors, would you use orange? Would an orange soft, easy chair be too much, or better pops of orange, such as pillows? I'm researching and writing about this. Can you see the walls here? I don't know if there's too much light. It's pale peach. Pale peach gives me the energy to stay in this room. I once painted a sitting room bright orange, and people would come in and go, it was too much, really too much. But this lovely color of pale peach just holds my spirit beautifully. I play with colors and I play with paints. I like carpets that bring in colors, and pillows, of course, and sitting chairs. Ask a person, do that. There's a questionnaire that I have in the back of one of Healing and Health with Homeopathic Color and Sound Remedies. Yes, find out what a person's weakness is, what chakra they need. Good, okay. Oh, she says, I have that book, good. Okay, yes. Find out what a person needs. You don't want to overstimulate the energy system. I used to have this room painted very beautiful ultramarine blue. And I was in this room for 14 hours a day. I mean, it just gave me the energy to work, but I wasn't getting enough rest. And that's when I toned it down to this pale peach, which gives me healthier boundaries for working and resting and pleasure, finding, the balance. There's a great Dutch expression, genoeg is genoeg, enough is enough. That is the motto of the sacral chakra. Enough is enough, finding out what's enough. Nobody needs to work 14 hours a day unless they're really OCD and they can't control it. So colors help people. Colors are medicine. Sound is medicine. If you don't know about the Peter Chapel Sound Medicine Remedies, I certainly encourage you to take a look at that. I'm going to write their website in the chat. soundmedicine.zone. I love that website. I love it, and I encourage you to look at it. Peter Chapel, one of the great homeopaths on the planet, and we've shared a lot of information because I use sound a lot, especially in autism. Has been a great healer. Okay, down to, we're at the heart. Brotherhood and sisterhood, community, being at one with others in love and trust and allowing the good to unfold. We are a fraternity of homeopaths, And we come from the heart. We are heartfelt. We are loving. We are supportive people. Nobody goes into homeopathy without a sound heart chakra. And we develop this chakra through compassion, through prayer, through meditation, through loving our fellow men, including all their sufferings. Peace, the quintessential quality of happiness, is peace, peace of mind. Good for those who stress over situations, relationships, finances, or who try to prove their worth too much to others. Love, the absolute elixir of life, the essence of all goodness that allows us to make wholesome choices, wonderful connections, and strengthens our being to fight the good fight for love, victory, and the glory of God. Joy, the center of joy and goodwill, is the heart. And I use this a lot for those who are joyless. In my country, the United States of America, there is a lot of joylessness at the moment. I don't know how it is with you. I know India is suffering terribly. I've been to India twice, and I can't imagine the distress of what you are going through in your country. But I know that at the very core of India is pure joy. And at the very core of all of us is pure joy. And I think we could use a little reminder of that in these times. So I've been taking pink and green and the Raphael essence and holy water and gem elixirs almost every day that I work with clients, because people are in such fear. Okay, let's move on to the throat chakra. Let me just see if oh yes, here's a question. I'm in New York City and there is a vacancy here in the joy department. No kidding. Oh, I think that's well put, my dear Carla. A vacancy here in the joy department. Absolutely. Well, I would fortify yourself with pink and green and use the holy waters and the chakra, heart chakra elixirs. They really make a difference. Whatever you're using as a COVID preventative, I'm using camphor, got that from Dr. Sankaran. I've been doing that for a year and a half, every 2 months. Camphor 1M dispels the fear faster than anything I've ever come across. And I've treated, I don't know, 24 cases of COVID, and every time I use Nux Vom 10M and it's gone in 12 hours. And I keep thinking, how is this possible? It takes 5 remedies to cure the common cold. And here we are with 1 single dose of a Nux 10M, and they're back on their feet and back at work at 4 or 5 days. I mean, really, I marvel. I'm working on a vaccine antidote with a medical doctor who's one of my students, and we're not ready to use it, but we're using color and sound in it as well. We're using the holy water remedies. We're using a lot of things at our disposal to help people who have gotten the vaccine. Recently, I had a young Black woman, beautiful young girl in the United States Army, commissioned as an officer for chemical warfare. Her mother is one of my students and said she has been highly vaccinated, will get the COVID vaccine in the next week, and will be exposed to CS nerve gas. I mean, it was shocking. So we have her on the color remedies, we have her on the sound remedies, the higher vibrational Imponderables, and other remedies that, you know, terrifying. To me, it was just terrifying that they would do that to anybody. So when I get caught in that knot, as I call it, I take the remedies for myself to get clarity of mind, because that's the only way I can help somebody, is to be detached, find their constitutional, back them up and fortify them with these remedies. Carla, I wish you good luck in New York City. It'll come back. New York is so vibrant. It will come back. But fortify yourself and make sure that you stay strong and that you can find your joy. And that will be infectious. You will infect New York City with joy. That's what we want to be doing. Okay, let's move to the throat chakra, that core. No, not the brow. No, go back, Kavitha, please. Thank you. The throat chakra. In the human energy system, you can have very healthy chakras. Get to the throat chakra, and it's like a crack in the vessel. People can be healthy, they can be loving, they can be grounded, but they can't speak their truth. And this is a powerful, powerful chakra that we want to develop and cultivate. We are forced as homeopaths to say things to people that we would not say in polite company. It isn't just, how often do you poop? And, the sexual questions we ask. It's telling people that they need to find joy. They need to allow themselves to be embraced by the love of the Holy Spirit. I mean, there are things that are very hard to say. I remember as a student when I got a whole bunch of men coming with sexual dysfunction, and I just horrified that I had to ask questions. And my clinical supervisor, God bless him, he said, Ambika, what you resist persists. Bite the bullet, ask the questions. And I would gulp and choke. And finally, I was able to ask those questions and help a lot of men find their sexuality back. But it's not just sexuality. It's about touching the core of the soul and being able to ask questions that allow people to release and let go. It's about integrity, being a truth teller, clear communication, willpower. Absolutely, willpower is a huge, one of these things about allopathic drugs is they rent the will, like you take a piece of silk and you rent silk. That's what happens in the throat chakra when people take heroic doses of allopathic medicine. Their will is shot, absolutely shot. And reanimating the will is one of the strongest things we do. Kent, remember what Kent said about the will? Do not ever interfere with the will of man. Point taken, Dr. Kent, point taken. But when we have allopathic drugs that absolutely can destroy the will and leave people defenseless in their ability to make wholesome choices for their lives, this is a powerful remedy. Turquoise strengthens the will. It's great for anything to do with the ears, which rule the throat chakra, the teeth, the mouth, the gums, the internal and external throat. Living in integrity, clear communication, willpower, truth, and ultimately creativity comes from this chakra. They call this chakra the mouth of God, and it is ruled by turquoise, the note F, the Archangel Gabriel, who brings us the word of God, the holy water and gem elixir remedies. Okay. Oh, I see there are 4 questions. Let me get my glasses on. Okay.
Ambika, if you want, Dr. Sweta, our moderator, can read for you if you wish, please.
I'm sorry, Kavitha, I didn't understand you.
Dr. Sweta, our moderator, can read the questions for you if you wish. She can help you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't see any questions for me on this chakra.
In case if you are trying to check the chat, we can help you, Ambika.
Okay, dear, thank you. Okay, the brow chakra, ruled by the color indigo blue, the note A, the essence of the goddess, holy water and gem elixirs. Ultimately, the symbol I use is a indigo blue 5-pointed star, and the apex points up towards the crown chakra, and that is wisdom. And wisdom is what we cultivate from the pain, the struggles, the traumas of our lives. Wisdom does not come out of the good. It comes out of our suffering. It comes out of our struggles. It comes out of our vulnerability, out of our weakness. Learning to cultivate wisdom is the power of turning muck into gold. Intuition, yes, strong intuition, to be able to know what you know and move from that place without fear or anxiety. Good for those who do not trust their intuition or inner voice. Good for those who seek answers in science, rationality, and the herd mentality without the balance of inner guidance. We need both. That's called visionary thinking. To take both both lobes of the brain, the right and left brain, and bring them together so that we have a vision of truth that holds intuition and knowing and rationality. Rationality and the ability to make a wholesome choice. Wholesome choice is everything. Discernment, the ability to know who and what is for our highest good. Good for those who capitulate to the external world and do not trust their inner guidance. I was at the post office yesterday, and there's a woman who I say hello to every day that I go there. She works there. We have long conversations about homeopathy, and she said, "Oh, did you get your vaccine?" And I said, "No." I said, "Did you?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, which one?" She said, "Johnson & Johnson. I got it the day before they pulled it." I thought, oh my God. You know, to be able to cultivate enough inner guidance to know what is right for you is going to save lives, and it's going to save a lot of suffering in these times. So learn how to cultivate your intuition. And I do believe that the note A and the color indigo blue really, really help us. So knowledge, we need knowledge. And is that not what we do as homeopaths? I mean, don't we study? Don't we look at new things, new remedies? I salute you all for being willing to even consider the color and sound remedies. In the very beginning of doing these provings, people would go, "What? What are you talking about?" I remember talking to Dr. Sankaran in 1990 when he came to do a conference in London, and I was introduced to him, and the homeopath said, "Oh, she's working on color remedies." And we said, "Oh, very interesting." Oh, very interesting. You know, later he came to accept them, and many other people have come to accept them and have wonderful healings with these remedies. Vision and knowledge, they're the two legs of this indigo blue 5-pointed star. Knowledge, we need knowledge. We need to continue our study of the natural world, the imponderable realm, the spiritual realm. We need knowledge to be able to make good choices. And vision. How can we create the world we want for ourselves if we don't have a vision of the goodness that's possible, both for our personal lives and the greater world around us? A vision of peace, a vision of joy, a vision of happiness and health, a vision of health. Absolutely a vision of health for ourselves and those we work with. Yes, vision, a very important aspect. Okay, crown chakra. Wait, see, Carla has written, we use indigo and variations of blue in business, primarily in websites. Yes, it is used so much that I see it lacks any warmth. Yes, you're right there. And businesses look very cold and distant, although competent. Yes, that's right. So you'd want to balance it. How about pink? I'd throw in a little pink. I'd throw in a little peach or yellow. The colors of true integrity. Ancient color combination is yellow and blue. They're the complements, and they work beautifully together. Think of the blue sky and the bright yellow sun. That's part of anthroposophy, in that when they teach children painting, they start with yellow, the diffusion of yellow, and they create that boundary with blue. Those are colors that if I see, and I do, I'm a color reader like you are, Carla. I see what people are wearing. Oh, look, she's wearing pink and green. That's a heartful person. Oh, look, he's wearing, or his house is blue and yellow, or his office is blue and yellow. That's huge. That's integrity. Somebody coming from a sense of self and self-worth and goodness and that detachment of blue. You're right. Too much blue is separate from the heart. Peach, you reminded me, yellow and blue are perfect together. Thank you. You're welcome, Carla. Thank you for good questions. Good questions. Okay, we've reached the crown chakra. This holds the Christ light, the absolute Christ light. And it is where the spiritual energy enters our physical body through the crown chakra. I use the color violet, the note B, the Christ-like essence, the holy waters, and the gem elixirs. So this chakra has 3 main components. It's the chakra of bliss, to see above the negativity that pervades everyday life, to live in the truth that life is eternal with no beginning and no end. True samadhi, good to help people release their physical and emotional pain. And it really does work on physical pain very well. Beauty, to see the great beauty in life on this earth plane as well as the spirit world, to love the beauty in people, animals, plants, and the elements of nature. Know that beauty is sacred. Beauty is sacred. Good for those who can find no beauty in the world around them. Serenity. The gift of serenity is tranquility beyond measure. It is the full acceptance of oneself along with the choices we make for ourselves. It embraces the choices others make for themselves. For those agitated, reactive, and sucked into the negativity of the world, this helps ease their distress. And it's such a powerful force. I give, for people who have trouble sleeping, I use pink and violet. That is just a beautiful combination. Do we have the Alta Major chakra on here? I don't think so. Do we? Yes, spectrum in the cord. There's a color that is not on here, and that's the Alta Major chakra, which I don't teach. It sits about a foot above the crown chakra, and the color is magenta. And it represents the collective unconscious of the world. It represents, Rudolf Steiner called it the color of ultimate creativity. And I use magenta a lot for when insight is needed. The first case I ever used it in was a woman who had been married for many years, almost 30 years, and felt that she was a lesbian, and she didn't know how to make this transformation, how to talk to her family. When she came, she was literally oozing plasma out of open sores on her arms and legs. It was really awful. When I talked to her, she said, I'm ready to follow this path, but I'm so afraid of hurting my family. Her children were in their late teens. They were off at school. The marriage had gotten very, very stale. And I gave her magenta because I really did not know how to address it with conventional homeopathy. The sores healed up. She stopped weeping plasma. She sat in meditation and she made the move she needed to make in her life. I used it with a young girl whose mother was literally certifiably insane and used to beat her senseless. She was taken away from her mother and went to live with her father and her stepmother. And she was very raw from being abused. And she said she couldn't understand why her mother beat her. I don't understand it. I don't understand. What did I do wrong? I gave her magenta. I gave her staphysagree. I gave her many remedies, but it was magenta where she was able to hold the truth that she had done nothing, that her mother was mentally ill and had no control. That young woman today has graduated from university, is married, has 2 children, has a happy life. And I was thrilled to see the power of magenta. Magenta brings insight. And we can do a lot to heal pathology. We can do a lot to stabilize the emotions. But if people don't have insight, they're not likely to make good choices for happiness and well-being. We need insight, and this is the color of insight, magenta. So spectrum, a compilation of all colors and all musical notes. Oh, I'm sorry, the musical note for the Alta Major chakra is high C, high C. And the spectrum and the chord are the colors and the musical notes for the whole being. I'd say they work on the auric field itself. They're used for people who are absolutely burned out, exhausted, recovering from major surgery. Great to use in this COVID, post-COVID, absolutely. They revive the human energy system. They bring both energy and awareness. They help balance all the chakras and revive what has been damaged or worn out. I've used this a lot. I'm going to share one case with you before we open up for more questions. When I was still working in Britain in the early 90s, one of my clients was a social worker and brought this woman to my clinic, and she could hardly walk. He had to kind of carry her in, and she had cancer. She also had AIDS, and she was dying. And when I took the case, there were almost negligible symptoms. As you see, when people lose their vital force, they don't have a vital force strong enough to throw out a symptom. It's very hard to get a case. So I thought, well, I'll just give her Spectrum. This woman could do nothing for herself. She couldn't clean her house. She couldn't wash herself. She couldn't wash her hair. She was just totally depleted. So I gave her Spectrum, gave her a 30C to take every day. And I got a call from the social worker about, I don't know, maybe a week later. And he said, what did you give her? I said, why? He said, well, she's cleaned her own apartment. She's able to wash her hair. She's able to clean herself. She's made communication with her children, which she hasn't had for years. She's brought them together. She's assembled her family to say goodbye. I was shocked. That's how I learned about Spectrum. The cord came years later. The cord came about 9 years ago. That's when I did the sound remedies. But that woman whose name, I tell you, I cannot remember her name. She taught me so much, and she had a good death. She had a horrible, horrible life, but she had a peaceful, peaceful passing, was reconciled with her children, and had her dignity back. So I love this color. Just be careful about the red. If anybody has high blood pressure or is highly reactive, a lot of anger, you're not going to want to use Spectrum. Again, go up to magenta, use that. Use pink, but be careful with the red. It's got a volatility to it. And the cord, absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It just helps where people are in total exhaustion. Okay, we've got questions here. Sleep deprivation. Pink and violet. Yeah, pink and violet. Okay, anybody else have questions? Could you be kind enough to type them into the chat? I'd surely appreciate it. The cord, is it all the notes? Yes, it's all the notes. Welcome. Any other questions or comments before I go on to the Imponderables? Okay, let's do the Imponderables because it's going to shake your world. If these colors shake your world, please stay in your seat while I do the Imponderables. Over the years, I have developed a very strong connection with the spiritual realm through meditation, through prayer. And I was called to not only write about the archangels, but to actually make essences. An essence is not, all you can do is sit and meditate and pray on the archangels one at a time and hold that spirit over water, pure water, and then potentize it and see if anything comes of it. And good things came from it. I have some wonderful provers, wonderful people with high levels of sensitivity and awareness. You know, Jeremy Shearer had Sylvie. We used to call Sylvie the queen of the provers. And Sylvie proved neon, she proved chocolate, she proved plutonium. We called her queen of the provers. And she once came to my homeopathic college in north of England, and she gave us lectures, and she had eyes. Sylvia had eyes that had seen the creator. She had the bluest eyes I ever saw. And I've been very fortunate to have a small group of very sensitive, very true provers. And so I sent this out and I said, please tell me what you get. And they all gave me the same feedback. Archangel Michael for grounding, Archangel Metatron for manifestation for physical health. Archangel Uriel for confidence, knowing who you are in this world. Archangel Raphael to heal the heart. Archangel Gabriel to speak the truth, to speak the highest truth we can. I call this the realm of the goddess, or the Shekinah, which is the Hebrew word for goddess. And the Christ light, the pure Christ light within all of us, that lives in all of us. So I have made remedies, very sensitive, sweet remedies of this, and they're lovely, lovely, lovely. And then I made the angel of being, the angel of children, which I use a lot. I treat a lot of autistic children, a lot of Down syndrome, and I give them this, and I give them the color remedies. Pink and the angel of children. It's too beautiful for words. And I give them remedies for a developmental delay, of course, but something happens to the child and to the parent. There's peace. There's not worry. There's not fear. There's not agitation. It's a beautiful combination. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, somebody started sending me holy water remedies. They sent me Fatima. They sent me the Church of the Holy Nativity in Bethlehem. And then somebody sent me one from Our Lady of Consolation in KHA, Ohio. Then I thought, well, just get all of them. So I wrote to all these places, these holy places. And within a week, I had Lourdes, I had Chimayo, which is in New Mexico. Chimayo is a really amazing holy shrine that's been in existence since the 1600s, which in this country is old. Mother Cabrini Shrine, which is in Golden, Colorado. And it's a wonderful story about Mother Cabrini. She was this Italian immigrant nun who worked with orphans out in Colorado, and she found this piece of property that she loved, but it had very little water, and they had to truck it in. And one day, one of the nuns said, "We are tired of being out of water and thirsty." So Mother Cabrini said, "Go hit that rock with a stick." So she hits this rock, and water just pours out. It's like biblical. And it's never stopped flowing since 1927. So this water was sent to me. And it's got this incredible intention of Mother Cabrini, this amazing woman. Whenever I am faced with a task of having to do something for hours to get it completed, like writing a course up or teaching a class, I take a little Mother Cabrini. She just helps my will. So Our Lady of Guadalupe, Mexico City, the Church of the Holy Nativity in Bethlehem, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Christ was laid to rest in Jerusalem, which I had the privilege of visiting when I went to Israel. So, and Fatima, of course. So if you have holy shrines in your country, oh, and Anna Maria Ephesus, which is the holy water from the home that was supposed to be where the Blessed Virgin Mary died. That's a very beautiful one, a very peaceful one. They all have different qualities of energy, all of them. So I potentize them. I've written a book called Healing Elixirs, which is about the holy water remedies and the gem elixirs I've made. This is a book on the archangels, not the remedies, but the qualities of the archangels. And this is a book on the chakras and their archetypes, because I work a lot at a very archetypal level. This is the book, Life Energy Medicine, that is my teaching text. And it's a good book for homeopaths because it's got the flower essences for the chakra, the cell salts for the chakra, the nosodes for the chakra, the homeopathic remedies I align to the chakras. I see there are two questions in the chat. My question is about color remedies. Lorraine Stern. If someone needs 2 color remedies, where do you start? You give them both. You give them both. Yep. Wait, there was another question I saw that I didn't answer. The cord, is it all notes? Yes, answer that. Yes, you can use up to 3 remedies together. I don't encourage you to give them all at one time, but you can give one And if you've got the compatible sound remedy, give that together. And then, you know, let it get into the system, then give another color or another note. Yes, up to 3 I found successful. Otherwise, you're just about giving the chord. But remember, these color remedies, I think, they follow the course of the day. The hot colors in the morning. At noon, green. And then you move into the cool colors. Don't ever overstimulate the body at night with warm colors. You know who knows more about color healing than anybody? Our Indian. The India subcontinent taught me more about color and color healing. When I went to India, I met doctors who used honey, jars of honey with pure, beautiful Indian silks over the top and in the sun, and they would let the color just vibrate into the honey, and then they would take a spoonful of the honey. Do you know how ancient that is? That's maybe 18,000 years old. This is, the Indians' culture is so ancient and so true, and we have so much to learn. And you add that to what we know about homeopathy and the ability to potentize. You could potentize that honey as well as potentize water. They take pitchers of water and they'll put, let's say they'll drape it in indigo blue. When I went to India, I went to visit Papaji in Lucknow, and that's how I made my very first color remedy. I could see that he was hurting. He was hurting badly. He was 91 years old, sitting in lotus position at 91, and his feet hurt. He had plantar fasciitis. So
Great information, Ambika, and we would love to bring you back.
So with Papaji, he asked me what I would give him. I was a first-year homeopathic student, and I was surrounded by homeopaths. It was horrible. It was terrifying. And I said, I kept seeing his aura needed violet. He said, okay, give me violet. So I went out, got pure water from a pharmacy, got a little swatch of Indian violet silk, made the remedy in his home, and gave him violet. And all of his pain went away. That's how he gave me the name Ambika, you know, which means universal mother. And here we are on Mother's Day. So it's kind of come full circle. And that was the beginning. And that's when I learned to trust that these remedies worked. He was my very first prover. God bless him. So that's the story. I've got 2 questions here. I'd love to talk to Ambika and others about my book. Yes, we'd love to see your book. Love to see your book, Carla. Absolutely. Anything on color. We need as much as possible on color. The world's a little too beige for my taste. Okay, thank you so much for having me on. God bless you all. Be well, be safe, and love to come back. I will write my contact information again.
Yes, Ambika, so that people can join your courses, your classes, and buy the books. They are really, really great, and I highly encourage. And we would like to take privilege to honor your precious time, Ambika, and for sharing this great knowledge about all these color remedies and everything. And please kindly accept our caste certificate from our team.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kavita. Goodbye, everybody. God bless.
Hold on, Ambika. We would like to announce upcoming events, and also we would like to hear Professor Regina and Dr. Sweta would like to speak, please.
Surely.
Ambika, your heart. You have brought light to our life, and the sound and color remedies are soothing towards. I was very emotional when you talked about Babaji, because I have very strong cancer pains in both lungs and the metastasis on the ovaries. And when you told me about the violet water that heals excruciating pains, I was the one that's that the light came up into my mind and say, you have to take this. So I am truly blessed by your presence, by your wisdom. May God bless you at all times, and your spiritual paintings also heal us. It has vibes. We look at you, you glow. But also in the ambience, what you have behind also vibes towards us. Thank you so much. It was wonderful meeting you. And I give the word to Dr. Sweeta, because otherwise I'll cry more. Many blessings your way.
Thank you. Thank you for your blessing. You too are a blessing to me. I'm so glad I got to meet you. I would like to say something. I have never taken these remedies above a 30C, ever, 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 ever. I was taught that the realm of imponderables had to stay below 30. But I think for you, my suggestion is get a gallon of water, of pure water, a gallon. Put 2 drops of violet in it and succuss it, succuss it, succuss it, succuss it. It's like when we take spit and we turn it into a remedy. I suggest you spit into the bottle with violet and that you sip it. But every time you take it, you must succuss it. I think it will give you more healing than you can imagine. I highly encourage you to try that. Yes. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
God bless you. And Dr. Singh?
Shweta, please.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. And this is a new topic for me, but it's really interesting. And the way you explained it, it was wonderful. So thank you so much for sharing this information with us, this new topic, learning, much learning from you. And thanks a lot.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, Dr. Kavita. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ambika. And there is so much to say. Professor Regina also would like to read the review or the testimonial, since we are running out of time, the one which you have given to us. Thank you so much. And once again, we will bring you back. And anyone who wants to get hold of Ambika, please email her, which she is going to provide in the chat. And you can get on to her courses and books. Okay, and we will announce the upcoming events. On May 16th, we have with Misha Norland a unique opportunity of Q&A session with homeopath Misha Norland from England on topic that which cannot be explained by the old scientific paradigm. And in June, we have Dr. Subhash Singh, Director of
Teachers,
NIH,
Misha Nolan,
Calcutta, and also
teachers.
Bhavishya Joshi and Sachindra Joshi. And we have many
Thank
more
you.
renowned homeopaths lined up for KHA webinars. And I thank KHA Homeopathy Study Group entire team for their continuous support, and many people who have joined from different parts of the world. I always thank all the participants for their presence and undivided attention. And so many thank you to the study group volunteers who have attended. And stay tuned to our future webinars, and you can reach us, email us at khastudygroup@gmail.com. And once again, happy Mother's Day to all of you. Thank you so much, Ambika. We'll bring you back. And Dr. Sweta?
I think Professor Regina would like to say something.
Yeah,
Please proceed.
Yes, I would like to say that we are also using Archangel Michael's, Metatron, and Archangel Raphael in medications as well. So we are all tuned globally. So with nosodes, along with homeopathy, along with florals, they all bind together and they are very effective. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. I will not forget.
Thank you all. And yeah, see you all next time. And would you like to wrap, Dr. Sweta?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I want to thank our speaker and all the participants who have joined us today. And we have lot of interesting webinars which we have lined up for you. So stay tuned with us, and for future webinars information, recordings, you can follow our social media platforms with the name KHA Homeopathy Study Group at Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow or subscribe our YouTube channel with the name Kavita Kuknur. And for any query, you can email us at kstudygroup@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
It won't take more than a minute. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
ma'am. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
please.
I would like to say it's wonderful when good things happen to special people. Martha Ullman's award attests that Dr. Kavita Kukuner is doing a great job in mentoring young homeopaths and making history along the way. For the betterment of society and the universe, we all belong. In every smile, generous acts of encouragement, Dr. Kavita expresses herself as a true enlightened Atma, serving society, and her charity work through Carving Friendly Foundation is a gem that gives hope and better tomorrows to many out there, both in India and in the North America. Dr. Kavita is the role model and the mentor we need for a better world. She offers peace, drops, and holistic healing through the homeopathy she practices. Kavita's Ka Family Homeopathy Study Group is a bless to many homeopaths. Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Regina. That was a wonderful message from you to all, to the study group and everyone. Thank you so much. Wish you all happy Mother's Day and see you all at next webinar. Enjoy your
Happy
day.
Mother's
Thank
Day to
you.
all. See you.
Bye-bye.
Mother's Day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shweta.